Welcome back to another Erie Unfiltered video. I want to do something a little bit different here. How can we all think outside the box? How can we think of some unique ways to help the city of Erie with its financial struggles? How can we help raise revenue without fees or taxes? Is there things that we can kind of look at? And I think I got an idea here, and I want to kind of run it by you. So again, this is without raising taxes or fees. And what I want to try to do is look at some of the revenues that we're generating from outside tourism, like the hotel tax, and look at what the city pays for as it relates to actual tourism functions, right? EMS, police overtime. Can we use some of those tourism dollars to free up general fund dollars that we're already paying for so that we can use that fund or the money in the fund for other things? Hear me out. Erie collects a 7% hotel tax on every single room. Erie County. Erie County collects a 7% hotel tax. Roughly brings in about $15 million a year, right? And this is paid by outside visitors, people coming from Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Erie Insurance has people that, stay overnight, coming to their headquarters. They pay that fee. It's not a heavy burden on local residents. Where does that money go, right? Roughly 15 million of that comes in. 80% or about 12 million goes to the Convention Center Authority, right? So Erie Insurance, the Warner, the Bayfront Convention Center, right? All of those kind of entities, right? 20% or about 3 million, and this is what I want to focus on, goes to Visit Erie for tourism promotion. The city of Erie actually gets none of it, right? The actual city gets nothing. Just kind of keep that in mind. All right, let's focus on Visit Erie. And first of all, I think Visit Erie does amazing things. So I'm not anti-Visit Erie. I've seen what they've been doing, especially on social media, and it's been really good. So again, this made me really think about, is this something that could be actually possible? But I think for where we are for a short-term period, I think this still could help. So Visit Erie, with their $3 million, it's broken out like this. 50% goes to advertising and promotion, kind of their core mission, right? And the other 50%, 30% is salaries and benefits. 10% goes to rent. 10% goes to other expenses. Now, they do important work for the city of Erie, but I think that there's a disconnect. And the disconnect is that when all of these visitors come in, right? These 60% of visitors from the annual report are coming from out of state, right? Not even in like a Pittsburgh. Like, so you add those in, right? You're at like 70, 80%. These visitors for our events, the tall ships, Boob on the Bay, Celebrating, all of that, right? They need police presence. Right? We have to make sure that we have EMS. We have to make sure that, there's sanitation and cleanup. There's EMS coverage, right? So the county's collecting $15 million from visitors. The city is paying for these services, right? To have these events in tourism, right? But it's getting $0 from the hotel tax. And I think that's a disconnect that we need to look at further. So again, there's this assumption that the hotel tax can only be used for like marketing and promotion, but that's not what PA law says. The PA law says that it can be spent on programs, expenditures, or grants that are directly or substantially related to tourism, right? Having a police present at an event is definitely related to tourism. You can't have the event without it. So public safety, definitely qualifies, and it's been already talked through, and other communities are using it for that. So again, this isn't unusual. Right? Across the country, hotel taxes are commonly used to fund public safety at events, sanitation, tourism, right? All of that infrastructure. So here's my idea. We have Visit Erie with roughly getting about $3 million a year, right? The city getting zero. Temporarily, let's say for 3 years, since we're in this bind, Visit Erie just received $500,000 for core promotion. Again, I understand that team would probably be stripped down a lot, but I think there's still a lot we could do promotion-wise for $500,000, and that frees up $2 million to the city of Erie for documented tourism costs. Right now, again, there'd have to be a long discussion with the county, but again, I think we're seeing this revitalization of the city and county talking together. I think that this could maybe have a little bit of work, right? That they could actually work some of this stuff out. So again, no new taxes, right? We're just reallocating tourism funds that we have away from Visit Erie into the general fund to pay for tourism related things. The infrastructure of tourism that the city's going to pay for anyway. So let's be clear about what the law says, right? It's 100% legal because it permits tourism related usage. It follows national practice, right? There's cities across the country that are doing this. Now, it does require some accountability. We have to show that it's not just going to anything but tourism related costs, that there's a direct connection between that policeman's overtime to the event, right? We have to be very transparent. So we're not trying to grab money, but it's just realigning some of those funds that we're getting, right? So again, I think that this could work. I mean, that could bring in, $6 million over a 3-year period. Is that going to save the city? No. But I think that anything, when you're talking that magnitude of dollars, could really help without totally killing the tourism that we're seeing. So again, no new taxes. This is paid by visitors. It maintains kind of the core promotion of what we're doing, right, with the city in tourism. I think it helps the city. It's a temporary measure, and it's legal under Pennsylvania law. So it's just a better alignment for where we are right now as a city between tourism revenue and tourism costs. So that's it. That's my idea. Again, I think that can bring in an extra $2 million to the city every single year, at least. And if we keep going and the hotels keep going, it could be higher than that. Again, a temporary measure. VisitErie still needs to exist. But they just have to take one for the team for a little bit until we can kind of get through that. I'd love to hear what you think. I got a couple more ideas like this, but I'd love to hear your ideas too. Thanks.